Today, the girl just took a white bath. Suddenly, I heard someone knocking on the door. The girl thought her boyfriend was back, but suddenly, a strange, strong man burst in. Looking at the delicate flower in front of him, Ren Han threw down a few bills without saying a word. Then he pulled the girl over. When the boyfriend comes back, the really strong man is holding the girl under him. Furious, he threw his muscular big brother to the ground, then grabbed a fist, and it was a slug. The boyfriend then took the girl to the police station to report the incident. But when my boyfriend went out to record a statement, an old ghost asked a colleague what kind of alarm. Colleague said the point was not the police. The bottom line is, that girl, damn slut. The old man woke up as soon as he heard it, immediately went to the interrogation room to draw with the girl and said, "Don't be afraid. Take off my coat." The eyes of the locked old ghost are full of longing. This side, the boyfriend remembers well. The strong man with the black star tattoo on his hand, but the hand with the black star tattoo came to the police station at this time. Stabbed the girl outside the interrogation room. The really strong man turned out to be the sheriff. He called his people and said that the girl looked a lot like Teacher Kang. That's why I purposely paid 100 yuans more. I didn't expect to play the girl's fairy dance. Then he asked his subordinates to take good care of his boyfriend. Wait until I seduce this bitch before calling that guy. The old ghost might like this girl, radiantly following. When he saw that it was a strong man entering, the girl's frightened face paled, like a fragile flower about to be destroyed by a storm. The girl's boyfriend named Arjia is being questioned outside, but by chance saw in the group photo on the table, the muscular man was also on the list. Only then did Arjia realize that this is not a police station, but a magical cancer. He immediately rushed into the room to interrogate his girlfriend, but was hacked by a policeman. He tried his best to open the interrogation room, watching my girlfriend get raped by a strong man, but he can't do anything. Forced by several policemen, the girl was trampled inside. Arjia was brutally beaten outside. In the end, he was suspended in the air with one hand, letting him witness the tragedy of his girlfriend through the window. After finishing, several beasts gathered together to share their achievements. Then a fax came. It turned out the girl was not smart, but a student with an intellectual disability. But the sheriff didn't panic at all, rather, logically, this girl is retarded. Who would believe that the police had her turn? For Arjia girl's boyfriend, it's easier to handle. He resists in the witness room. At one point, the suspect lost control and grabbed my weapon. If you're busy, the kid won't find it. Arjia was charged with assaulting a police officer and was jailed for 6 months. During his sentence, Arjia didn't talk to anyone. He rubbed his finger against the corner of the bed. His finger hurt, less than 1,000th of his heart, and scrubbed the fingerprints on his hands, just the first step in the plan. His revenge plan. Arjia went to jail 6 months later, but his girlfriend greeted him with a big belly. 6 months pregnant, Jay's broken cry is conveyed, because the baby is not hers, not even knowing the baby is scum. But even so, Arjia endured the pain and went home to her girlfriend. For the next few days, the two live a sweet and peaceful life, as if nothing ever happened. But Arjia does not forget to take revenge. The first target is police officer Xiaoding. He quietly sneaked into Xiaoding's house, using the scrap of a plate as a sonar, clamped on Xiaoding's neck without making a sound. Arjia locked Xiaoding from behind, let him struggle in vain on the ground, until his throat was cut by a piece of disc. After receiving the report, the police picked up the white bag in the river. After bringing it to the police station, the bag suddenly exploded. The stench immediately filled the whole room. And what was even more terrifying was that there was a baby in the bag. Inside, there was also the ID of the Xiaoding police officer. Ahau immediately led people into Judin's house. There was a strong stomach smell when you walked in the door. Looking at the sticky blood at his feet, Xiaoding's pregnant wife was lying in a pool of blood. Not only did he die completely, he was also brutally dissected by the district hand and carried away the baby. At this time, the old ghost just got home with his pregnant wife. He was about to pour her a glass of water, but I saw the wrong expression on my wife's face. Looking at my wife's eyes, it was clear that there was someone in the corner. The old devil slowly retreated to the kitchen, groping for the gun at his waist, following the lens spinning. Ahau and the others receive a call from the old ghost, which can be connected but no one answers. At this moment, Arjia is in front of the old ghost, taking the child out of his wife's belly. When Ahau and the others arrived, only to find the pregnant woman dissecting her stomach in the living room, the old ghost was missing. There is a noise in the bathroom. Ahau and others burst in with guns. An old ghost burns to death in the bathtub. Immediately after, 2 cases were searched hot. The police began to step up efforts to find suspicious people. But Arjia didn't panic, because no one would suspect him except those scammers. But just as the car was about to pass, Ahau ran over. Seeing that Ahau would check the car by himself, Arjia hurriedly got out of the car and fled. Unexpectedly, Ahau still saw it, ordered him to stop. Arjia ran away. After the chase, Arjia was still caught by the police. He was brought back to that interrogation room, arrested with the excuse of evading the police. But Ahau decides that Arjia is the killer, but suffers because there is no proof, because Applejack doesn't leave any fingerprints. To force him to confess, a police officer kicked Ahau to the ground, then took out a long iron rod and brutally stabbed the iron in Jay's ear. Although the intense pain made Arjia scream, he didn't give up. This isn't the first time I've given you white poles. Looking at his plea, Ahau scattered thumbtacks on the table, then lifts a Jay, gets hit in the face with a thumbtack. Then pulled his body and pushed him off the table, and then Ahau threw the gun on the ground. "Come kill me," Arjia walks over. when he just grabbed the gun, a policeman stepped on him. Ah How held the gun against him. Do you think I can't recognize you? When her girlfriend saw Arjia being arrested when she heard the news, despite her mental retardation, she wasn't stupid. Knowing that Arjia was recovering herself to clear her lover's suspicions, this woman performed a scene of awe and admiration. He then picked up the phone and called the police, and before the police arrived, the woman slit her abdomen with her hand and dug the fetus out. In the last moments of unconsciousness, the head is thrown into the sewer. The newly killed Shire appears. The same child was pulled from the belly, but no Zona was found on the website. The girl was the only victim rescued in 3 district cases, and the appearance of the suspect the girl spelled out was not Arjia. Clearing doubts, the police can only release Jinjie. Our house torture is not just a loss. On behalf of the citizen of Shenquanju, he was ordered to suspend him. But the girl's murder made a KG real, because they were a couple. So Hao went to the hospital. I want to find clues from the girl. But by chance seeing Arjia knocked down and Sho picking up his girlfriend from the hospital, Hao rushes to catch up and informs Guowu police to stop Arjia. Guowu was already waiting by the side of the road. Seeing the ambulance, Guowu fired several shots forcing the car to stop. Just as he was slowly fixing the sweaty car door, a Jay Honey came out from behind, the wrench knocking his sidearm off. When the two fought, Guowu wrapped an air gun around Jay's neck. Suddenly, Arjia put the refueling gun upside down in his mouth, giving him a mouthful of gasoline. Then, Applejack picked up the pistol. A shot to Guowu's stomach. Guowu was burned by gasoline, and then burned his mouth. It didn't take long to burn into coke. But now, Ahau has also arrived. He is driving a car to try to kill Jay, unexpectedly hitting a stone on the side of the road. The whole car soars into the sky. Arjia was almost crushed. Dan Genre's prison life had long exhausted Arjia. Ahau chased after me, hitting me hard with the baton in his hand. As soon as Arjia was hit and couldn't fight back, he was shocked. He picked up a manhole cover and smashed it on Ahau, sending this sanctuary guy west. The next morning, the police chief also went to the gas station. The ambulance was still parked here. The girl was also in the car, but Arjia wasn't there. The sheriff knew Applejack wouldn't leave the girl. This is not as good as the beast that first opened fire in the sky, then shot the girl brutally. The sound of the gun woke Arjia, who was in a coma. When he saw Arjia and Shan in the wilderness, the sheriff stepped forward with a pistol, shooting Arjia one by one. Arjia, who was shot one after another, finally couldn't hold back and fell down, just as the sheriff was about to shoot Applejack one last time. Perhaps even God couldn't see. Gun stuck, after many failed attempts. Momo's God willing let the sheriff give up. My hatred for you ends here. Come back to me if you don't die. Five years later, Arjia, who didn't avenge, didn't die. When he saw the sheriff on TV, became the head of the orphanage. Speaking of benevolence and morality dignified in the news, Arjia cut her hair and embarked on a path of revenge once again. When he found the sheriff at the orphanage, the sheriff not only didn't panic, but got him a cup of coffee. I forgave you. I prayed for you. But that evil black star is so bright, nothing can be erased. Jay pulled out his pistol. The gun went through his palm, then 2 more shots hit the sheriff. The sound of gunfire also scared the children in the orphanage. Arjia didn't let the sheriff go. 1 shot done the beast. My enmity with you will be over. You don't have to pray for me in the future. Watch dear Dean killed by a mob, a child who came late. In the eyes of children, the sheriff is not a devil. On the contrary, he is a saint and their idol. So when Applejack wanted to leave, an unexpected scene occurred, a child stabbing a pencil in the neck from behind. All the other kids gathered around. They all surrounded Arjia, biting hard. This is the most shocking scene in the whole movie. The moment the sheriff falls to the ground, the audience thinks that darkness opens up to light. I don't expect to reverse immediately. It's hard to say who's right. As the children continued to shoot, Arjia ended up dead. The movie has 2 endings. End 1, Arjia is killed by children in the orphanage. Other ending, Arjia and girlfriend hug and live a happy life. The reason why there are 2 endings is because of the following passage. Generation of directors want to satisfy the audience's helpless desire. The first ending is the most realistic, the second ending is the ideal. The film shows the helplessness of small people against the oppression of the powerful. When they are treated unfairly, they have no way to avenge themselves. It can only be solved by one's own revenge. In short, the film is full of nostalgia in violence. There is warmth in the dark, and most importantly, this is definitely Kang's best movie. Those who like it will get rich. Pause the movie. Goodbye.